Hello everybody, welcome back to the video. In today's video, I'm going to go over the catalog flashback day number 2 for the Labor Day sale in 2016 on Roblox. So get started. So this is continuing my coverage of the Labor Day sale that happened in 2016 with day 2 right over here. We already went over day 1 of the Labor Day sale, so if you do want to check that out first, I will leave the link to it below so you can see that one, and also links to see the future ones as well when they release. But if you don't know what the catalog flashback series is a series where I go over past catalog update or events that happen on Roblox just for nostalgia's sake, because it's fun to look back at some of the things that happened in the past on Roblox. So over here we left off with the Renegade Master going off sale at day 1, with the Renegade Master having a timer right over here to go off sale after day 1, and then right over here day 2 started off with some new items. We did get the tiny top hat for the shoulder right over there for 500 Robux. We did also get the neon pink banded top hat for 5,000 Robux, so a new addition to the top hat series, and this is following the blue one going limited the day before. We did also get a new limited right over here of the Noob Attack Pitchfork Pacification, which these Noob Attacks and Noob Assist series have been very popular for these sales, so it was pretty expected that we would get a new one for this sale as well. And then we also got a new item right over here, the Shoulder Bear for 300 Robux. So over here, shoulder tiny top hat. This is actually a pretty cool item. It goes on the shoulder, so there's a good chance it fits with a lot of different versions of these little shoulder friends right over here, so it's mostly meant for those. So if you do have any of those shoulder friends and you want to get them a little accessory, this is still on sale and a pretty nice item to get. Next up, the neon pink banded top hat, a pretty popular one. Once again, it is still available for purchase. It was discounted a few times after this as well, so definitely not too bad. Another addition to the top hat series right over here. Next up, this Noob Attack Pitchfork Pacification right over here. It did alright right over here, 75 Robux originally. Pretty much all the Noob Attacks and Noob Assists profited, so it was pretty much a given that this one would profit as well. Has a decent amount of owners, sells sometimes, looks like around once a week maybe, so not too bad. So if you got this originally, you were definitely able to make profit, and it's a nice addition to that Noob Attack series. Next up, the shoulder bear. There's quite a few versions of these shoulder items. We do have the sloth right over here that's recommended, so there's quite a few versions of these. They're all around the same price as well, so not too bad if you did like this kind of series. This is just another version of those kind of shoulder animals right over here. Now moving on, we did get quite a few different items right over here. We had the Classical Glory item go limited right over here. We did also get the new Tokyo Chaos elephant right over here, which there are quite a few versions of this kind of item. And we did also get this chocolate business top hat, which was a limited unique item just after that as well. So over here we have the Classical Glory. This one actually went limited during the sale. Before this, it was actually a pretty expensive Tix item, so once Tix was removed, it went off sale, and then a few months later it went limited during this sale. So it doesn't have that many owners. It's a pretty rare item right over here, sells for quite a lot, so if you're able to get it originally for tickets, I think it was definitely a pretty nice item, as it has profited pretty decently from that, so not too bad. A pretty cool item right over here. And there's also quite a few different versions of this kind of helmet too, so if you can't get this one, there's definitely other options out there. Next up, we have the Tokyo Chaos elephant right over here. There are quite a few of these Tokyo Chaos items. They're kind of these like animals with the cute eyes, and they're all pretty much on sale. I think the giraffe is the only limited one, but all the other ones are regular on sale items, so not a bad addition to that series over here. I think it's a pretty cute one. Next up, we have the chocolate business top hat. I think this was actually created as the actor in the original Chocolate Factory movie did pass away just a few days before this item released, so I think they kind of made it as a kind of memorable item for that passing of that actor. So pretty nice item. I think it's a nice way to represent that character with one of his more famous roles, so not too bad. It actually had 10,000 stock when it released, but it had a timer with it, but it ended up only selling 2,000 times before the timer ran out. So once again, not a bad item. I think people don't actually realize what it's supposed to represent, so I think it was a pretty nice item to have been released right over there. Next up, we did get a new item, the Painter Skater, for only 1 Robux, so very, very cheap, for 4 hours before going off sale. We did also get this surfboard hat for your back for 250 Robux. That was also on a timer. It did end up going off sale later that day as well. Once again, another new item that had a timer, this turtle backpack, 75 Robux, pretty cheap, 2 hours only, so once again, another timer item right over here. And then we also had the heart phones right over here with a timer. These actually, I think, were a returning item instead of a new item, so these actually had owners previously, but they did return for this sale right over here. So Painter Skater, a pretty nice addition to that Skaters series, which are pretty much these kind of baseball caps right over here with different textures on it. It was 1 Robux, so really we weren't spending that much for it anyways, so pretty cool item if you were able to get it, as it hasn't returned since. Next up, surfboard hat for your back. This one actually went limited a few years later, has only a few hundred owners, but it is kind of a regular looking item. It is pretty much just a regular looking surfboard, so it's not doing the best right now. in terms of demand or price, but it did end up profiting from original price, so not too bad for original owners. I can definitely see this one actually doing pretty well in the future because it doesn't have that many owners. Next up right over here, the turtle backpack. This one also was a new item. Very cheap, actually looks pretty cool. Very well detailed right over here. Pretty underrated item to be honest as well. Doesn't have as many owners as you would think, and I think it's something that would actually do pretty well as limited, so definitely one I would like to see return at some point in the future, but it's pretty unlikely at this point. And then next up, headphones. This one actually returned for the sale. It's a pretty nice looking pair of headphones, definitely pretty good for Valentine's Day, so not too bad if you're able to get it during its return here. It's a nice looking item to have gotten. Next up over here, we did get some limiteds. We did get blue steel shutter shades going limited. We did also get a huge wave of this From the Vault series right over here, which pretty much all of them except the Bandit Dog were limiteds. So there's quite a lot to cover here. All of them did release here in one big wave. So pretty crazy wave of like 5 limiteds all at once. But starting off this little mini wave, we did get the blue steel shutter shades going limited. These came out of a gift. There were actually 4 different versions and you ended up getting only one of the 4. So if you were lucky and you got this one, it ended up going limited. It has done pretty well. Usually these blue steel items do pretty well, so not too bad if you got it originally. It was definitely a profit and it looks pretty nice. Seems like it will do pretty well in the future as well. Now moving on, this is also from the Front of the Vault series right over here, the Bandit Dog. This is the only one that wasn't a limited item. It was actually an off-sale item, so not as many sales as the others, but still looks pretty cute. If it does go limited, I think it will probably do as well as the others, as all the other ones have done very, very well for these kind of gears. So not so bad, pretty cute, pretty underrated. Not many people actually know there's an off-sale version from this series, so not a bad addition to the series over there. So starting off right over here, we do have the Kawaii Cat, and you can see the trend with these gears. They're all these kind of cute animals. They're all going to be very expensive. It actually wasn't as expensive earlier this year. Only a few months ago it was around the 60 range, but now it's at 100, so a very high increase. Has a couple thousand owners. It was pretty cheap, so definitely a huge increase. Doesn't have that many sellers left anyways, so very, very popular now. Not a bad limited to have released here, but I don't think many people that actually were purchasing these expected them to do this well this many years in the future, so it's pretty cool to see this kind of series that was kind of underrated when it first released do actually very well in the modern day. Next up, the alpaca version right over here, kind of the same case, did very well. Not as well as the cats, but still very decent in terms of pricing, selling for around 60,000 here, so not too bad. Pretty cool item here as a part of this cute little animal series. Next up, we have the alligator one. It didn't do as well as the others, but still looks pretty cool. This one I don't think has the cuteness that the others do, which is probably why it didn't do as well, but still did decent. It sold for around 10,000 in the early months of the year, and it actually has gone up quite a bit like the others, so not too bad. A nice addition to the series. Same case here. I think this one was actually the one that did the best out of the series during its first few years because of how crazy it looks like when you wear it, pretty much surrounding your character with all the dinosaurs here, so not too bad. It's a pretty nice looking item here. Didn't do that great compared to the others nowadays, but still a nice profit from original purchases and seems to be on an upward trend, so not a bad choice to get now if you do want to get it still. And that was the end of the second day. We can see here everything pretty much just goes off sale the rest of the day here, so a pretty big day for timed items and limiteds. It seems like there weren't that much new stuff apart from at the beginning of the day we did get some things here, but mostly everything here ended up going limited or off sale, so a pretty big day for collectors if you are interested in any of these, as some of them have returned, some of them haven't, and a lot of them actually have done it pretty well, so not too bad. I think it was a pretty successful day for the sale, and we see a lot of fan favorites have released from this wave of items. But yeah, I will be back for the last 2 days in the future parts for the Cadillac Flashback, so expect those in a couple of days as well. But yeah, that is much of this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!